At first one wonders, what am I? How did I get here? Where do I go? What's my essence? And so there is a subject asking and an object that's being inquired about. I mean, it's the same thing, but it's split in two, wondering about itself. Looking at itself as if it's looking at an object outside of itself, and saying, and wondering about itself because it doesn't know what it is. And then in Samadhi, that gap vanishes. So that, and when that gap vanishes, then there is no longer a standing outside wondering, what is that? There is a knowledge of the essence from its own point of view, which every being has as their own essence. That essence, when aware of itself, without the fluctuations clouding that primary experience, which always is everywhere, always is at the heart of everything, but it is clouded by the fluctuations. When those fluctuations are put aside, then the essence experiences itself. Well, it always experiences itself, but that experience is not partaken of by us who are not trained enough to see that. Not meditating long enough, for instance, but unable to come to that and kind of circling around it, coming up with one theory after another, one thought after another. And they all, fail. And so what's being offered in the Eastern systems is this very, very, very important concept, let's call it, of Samadhi. In fact, in one of the most influential translations and commentaries on Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, the classical yoga text, a very clear statement is made by Vyasa, the commentator, and he simply writes, yoga is Samadhi. It's possible to have Samadhi, and my experience of a small Samadhi is something perhaps you can relate to. After some years of just practice in meditation and energy flow, prana awareness and body work, when I'm doing a treatment, it's part of my meditation practice. And generally my style of body work is not very active, because the body too every part of it is like a hologram. You can be in any part of the body and influence any other part of the body. So once that's been understood and some practice in that has been employed, then it's not necessary to move around so much. Although for certain situations you want to do that, it's more effective. However, so that's part of my meditation practice. And so when I'm doing a treatment, I am practicing self-awareness. I'm aware of, where's my tongue, what's happening with my hands, how's my position. If I'm sitting like this doing a treatment, and if I put pressure on, am I coming out of here, or do I still feel rooted so that the whole thing moves from here? All of that difference. And becoming aware of energy flow in the body, prana. And the quieter the mind becomes, the more rarefied everything is, the quieter the flow of prana. It's very, very fine at that point. So then it becomes more easily possible to then, while doing a treatment, feel some kind of dramatic change in my own self-experience, in my own body. And, more often than not, that coincides with something that the person's experiencing in their body. So I know in my body what's happening. And so I can modify my treatment by just keeping on top of myself, quieting myself down. And so that I'm aware of what my background level is, and whatever enters on top of that, I know it's not mine. It's something for me to be guided by in terms of where do I go next? What do I do next? So there's an example of Samadhi. There's Samadhi between two people. It's not the big Samadhi, Samadhi with the Absolute.